Hi Tom, thanks for coming in. Obviously I've given you the 2012 scorebook, which is your final year at school. Some pretty impressive stats in there. After having had a look through it, do you reckon there's any particular memory that stands out from that season?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously so many good memories, and yes, I wish my scores looked like this these days. But the two games that probably stood out most were Sherborne. That was one of my last games with school, and obviously getting 100 is always a pretty good feeling. And also against the MCC, I remember they had a pretty strong side, so yeah, it was nice to get 100 against them as well. But yeah, obviously it makes me look like a better bowler than I am as well, I think. So yeah, it's just some great times. Obviously, playing out here on the front with your mates from school, it was always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Bowling figures wise, I know it's the first match in there. You only bowled 3 overs, but all 3 maidens and a wicket. Does that stand out?
Yeah. I remember at the time, I was doing a lot of work on my bowling on the academy. And so yeah, I mean, I look back now and think I was probably a little bit greedy, sort of opening the batting, opening the bowling as well. I really enjoy bowling, and I remember at the time I got better quite quickly. So yeah, I used to love it, opening the bowling with, I think, Cookie, one of my best mates. So that was good fun. Obviously, it was. And
his dad was used to work here as well, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a group of probably 4 or 5 of us, really close friends, and all our parents worked at the school. So we spent a lot of time together, and yeah, we spent so much time playing sport and socialising together. So yeah, we had a great sort of team rapport, and as I say, there were some of the best times of my life.
So as you've been through at Taunton School, we're very multi-sport. So we have our core sports per term. And just like it was when you were here, it's rugby first term for boys, then hockey, and then cricket, tennis, athletics and swimming. That's really important to us at Taunton School. Do you reckon that multidisciplinary approach has sort of helped you in your career get to where you are?
Without a doubt. Like the school had a massive impact on me, you know, having so many opportunities and being able to kick on in cricket, but also played a lot of rugby, hockey, football at break times, and tennis, swimming. Did absolutely everything we could, and I think it's fundamental. And I think there is sort of research that suggests it gives you the best chance to try and kick on. And I guess I can only talk from my experience, but the skills you sort of picked up from playing different sports, like the movement patterns. I think about sort of my white ball cricket now, and to be honest, I hit hockey shots, you know, like sweeping, reverse sweeping. That's all skills that I picked up from playing hockey. But the other thing I think is so important is, like, it kept cricket fresh for me. I was always excited about, you know, summer term and playing cricket because, you know, the first half of the year I was playing rugby, I was playing hockey, and I think sometimes when your mindset is so fixed on playing one sport, you know, it can add pressure that you don't necessarily need. Whereas, yeah, I think playing other sports certainly gave me a little bit more freedom to express myself, and as I say, I probably picked up so many different skills that maybe you wouldn't if you were just playing cricket.
It actually keeps the fun in there instead of thinking about the pressure all the time of just performing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the different sports have different challenges. Obviously, you know, I think about sort of the fitness gains from our rugby sessions, and then hockey, yeah, it's see more hand-eye skills. And I mean, cricket was always my passion, but I don't think it hurt to sort of spend time playing other sports. Such an important aspect is obviously the social impact, you know, and like playing with your friends and how you sort of engage with other people and other teams as well, how you work amongst a team, all skills, you know, that you can transfer, not only in sport, but in any walk of life.
What you just sort of mentioned there in terms of the skills that you're learning across a broad range of sports, and then, you know, bringing to the cricket pitch for lessons outside of life. So that's another thing really important, and something we're really sort of talking to the kids about on a daily basis at school. Is all of this stuff is soft skills you're going to take into the world. And do you feel that that having a broad range of those and experience and allows you to go out into the world as an adult and really, you know how to speak to people and pick up on social cues, and allows you to go a little bit further than you would have done before?
I absolutely think there's a huge amount to be said for that. Sport, you know, brings so many different values. You know, respect is a big one that's sort of very important for me, and obviously, like, respecting your teammates, opponents, you know, everyone that you come across in daily life. And Yeah, these are all lessons I think that I've probably picked up through playing sport and through training, through meeting different people. Obviously, we think and talk a lot about sort of high-performing environments, and a lot of people talk about getting good people within an organisation, within a team, and then you can build on skills and their confidence and things like that. There's so many ups and downs within sport, that you have good times, you have bad times, and sort of trying to remain pretty level through those is very important. Yeah, these are all things you learn through playing and practicing, for sure.
So you mentioned respect there. It's absolutely huge in all the sports. You also talked about creating good people or being good people as part of a sports team, which is really, really key to our message here. One thing you didn't actually say the word of, but it comes across when you are captaining, when you're playing, anytime you're sort of seen in the public eye, or when I see you play, and that's humility. And you seem to have a lot of humility. You seem to be very humble, and it seems to be very key to your ethos and how you treat others. Is that something that has happened organically, or is that something you focus on and try to work on as a leader?
Well, I mean, thank you very much. That's very flattering. It's difficult for me to comment, but as I say, I think I know how sort of sport and life can go. There's so many ups and so many downs that I don't sort of get too high when things are going well, and I try and avoid getting too low when things aren't going so well. But I think, yeah, it's probably a range of factors. My family have been such a big influence. The teachers and the staff at school, not only sort of on the sporting field, but in classrooms, sort of helping me learn the importance, of punctuality and working hard, commitment, giving everything your 100%. I know it's slightly cliche, but I think that's what I try to do in all walks of life, really. I remember I was very sort of conscious about my academics and making sure I put in the work for that as well. But yeah, obviously I always wanted to sort of make my parents proud, and that was probably like one of the biggest drivers for me, not only in sport, but with my education. I just feel very fortunate, to be honest, to have had the opportunities that I have, not only at school, but also now at Somerset, and I've had opportunities to play around the world, and yeah, I've met some incredible people and learnt some lessons. There was obviously, I think about times when I got it wrong at school. I was probably a little bit cocky and overconfident, and to be honest, I still think about some of those experiences now, and they've certainly helped shape the person that I am today, for sure.
Is that humility, respect, in the performance game aspect? Because you obviously played, like you said, you play all around the world, and that having good people, is that something you see in all aspects of the games you visit now?
Yeah, I would say sort of my experience over the last 10, 12 years in sport, I would say it's definitely become a bigger thing. Like having good environments and good cultures, I think is a massive part of team sporting success. And, it probably started with the All Blacks. They had an incredible legacy and a huge amount of success, and that was built around sort of building a good environment. And I guess we try and sort of take lessons from obviously high-performing teams. And as you say, I've been fortunate enough to be a captain at Somerset now for 6 or 7 years. And yeah, we're always sort of learning, don't get me wrong, we certainly don't have the perfect environment, but yeah, I guess people that you come across in different environments, you try and learn from those people and adapt things, because ultimately we all want to be successful, we all want to win. But of course it's about doing that in the right way, because yes, it's about performing and winning, but there's also a bigger picture. We want to be playing our cricket in the right way, we want to be inspiring people, and yeah, we want to entertain people. We're so fortunate at Somerset to be so well supported, and the atmospheres we get are incredible. There's a real family feel about the club, and you meet so many people in town, and walking around Taunton, like, it's a very special place. So yeah, it's about doing things in the right way, and ultimately I feel like if you go about things in the right way, you give yourself the best chance.
We spoke a little bit about it earlier, about the multidisciplinary approach to sport at Taunton School and how it's really important to the education here. In terms of staying with the sport or sort of flicking between others, how key is late specialisation to you, or has it been to your career?
I'd certainly advocate late specialisation. That was the way I went about things. As you say, I played all sports at school, and I even played hockey at university, so I probably didn't fully specialise with cricket till I was probably closer to 20. And obviously we've alluded to sort of the different skills and the different values that you can pick up through playing different sports. I mean, it's different for everyone, you know. There's certainly nothing to say that if you'd specialise sooner that you know you can't make it, but I would certainly encourage kids to play as many sports as they can for as long as they can, because obviously these are opportunities that you don't get later in. And you know, I've been incredibly lucky with my cricket career, but I still think back to my school days as some of the best days of my life. Some of the games that we played, some of the experiences we had, you know, you don't get that back. So I'd certainly advocate late specialisation for sure.
So obviously there's going to be a lot of students watching this, and it would be remiss of me not to ask any advice you would give a young person wanting to follow a career in sport, lessons that you've learned, something that's been really key to you.
Good question. A couple of things I would say is firstly, throw yourself into absolutely anything you can and give 100% to it. You know, you don't necessarily have to want to become a rugby player or a cricketer to really get stuck in, but the friendships you make along the way and the skills that you can pick up, they transfer into anything you want to do later in life. But the other thing I also said earlier was about, you know, recognising your own journey and how it's going to be different. You know, people develop and mature at different stages. People pick up skills at different stages. So, you know, personally, I felt like I struggled when I was a little bit younger. I was quite small, but I was always, you know, working on the foundations of my game. And I like to think that sort of late, when I was close to 17, 18, I grew a little bit, and you know, that's when things started to change for me. But I was always very conscious about, you know, when I was slightly younger, that the bigger players were doing better than me, and and you know, I wasn't quite good enough. But the beauty with, you know, Taunton School is like you get so many opportunities, and you only have to take, you know, a few opportunities and do well a few times, and things can change. So yeah, just be a sponge, like try and immerse yourself in everything you're doing, try and learn. But yeah, if you're enjoying what you're doing as well, that's when you get the best out of yourself.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming in. It's been a real pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure, and you. Thank you very much.